Matthew Johnston is a long-standing friend and an incredible advocate for systemic change in disability inclusion. With a career started at IBM, many financial institutions, and most latterly with ThoughtWorks, he has done much to push for tech and AI inclusion. This special edition Confident Conversation film is about Matthew's life lived confidently and vibrantly with deafness and now cancer. We owe it to him to enact his enduring message that we all do one thing in our lives to build an inclusive world for disabled people. So, Matthew, I am so looking forward to our interview together. We've known each other, we were talking, for about 15 years now.
Yes.
So there are stories that could be told on air, but we're here to talk about your career and to talk about the remarkable achievements that you have clocked up along the way, but also to hear more about your own thoughts and feelings about confidence. But I wondered if we could start with a once upon a time.
Yes.
And for you to share with our listeners and our viewers a short summary of your career, so how it started, and bring us right up to date in terms of your last job with ThoughtWorks and indeed as a trustee of Scope.
Okay, so 37 years altogether. So could try to summarize it as short as possible. But I joined IBM as a programmer because at that time I was looking for a job that did not involve the telephone. Because I'm deaf. I couldn't use the telephone. So I spent 8 years at IBM. And then I became a contractor, and I worked for several financial institutions like UBS, Merrill Lynch, Legal General. And then I joined Morgan Stanley for 11 years.
And what was your role as a programmer or a coder?
It was started with a programmer, yes. But as the captain became available, I moved away from becoming a programmer. Thank goodness. I couldn't bear the thought of being a programmer for the rest of my career. Though I was able to participate in meetings, and therefore I was able to manage a team in India, Hong Kong, and New York.
Wow.
For caption. Yeah, and then I came very tired, and I was headhunted by a small startup company, and they said, Matthew, we're going to be a multi-millionaire, and you retire early. I'm still working. Obviously didn't work because they ran out of money after 6 months. So it wasn't a very good idea for me to leave Morgan Stanley, but I did. And luckily I found a small financial bread betting company called IG, back to the base as a programmer.
Okay.
And then they said, well, Matthew, we realised we heard that you're good at running a team. So they asked me to run a team in India and another in London, because where we were working was in Winchester, outside of London. And then they decided to close the office, and they asked me to London. And I didn't know that. So I took the redundancy. And then I found the company called ThoughtWorks, which I'd never heard of. But somebody said to me, Matthew, give it a go, because only 2% of the people apply to seize. I said, well, there's no sun. I'm wasting my time. Well, you might as well go for it. And I did. Somehow I got in as a programmer. And I worked there for almost 10 years. Yeah. So IBM, 8 years, Morgan Stanley, 11 years, and ThoughtWorks for almost 10 years.
And tell us a little bit more about your role at ThoughtWorks. It's around that time that I got to know you better.
Yes.
And of course, great relationships with Purple Space, Valuable 500, and you're very well known in the disability space. But tell us a little bit about your inclusion role within ThoughtWorks.
So I joined as a program manager, which means I looked after our team and the client team. So stakeholder management and all that. But suddenly I realised there was a role that I couldn't get involved, and that was accessibility. How could you make their product inclusive? And I thought, well, we are a consultancy company. We have an opportunity to work with the client. And I thought, this is something that we could differentiate ourselves from all the other consultancy companies. And eventually I was given this wonderful role about 5 years ago to be the global program manager of disability. So I had two hats. One is to make thought work more inclusive for people with disability, make them feel welcome to join and make sure they had a career. No glass ceiling. What are the blockers? Get rid of them. And the second hand, which I enjoy more, was how can we get our clients to make their product more inclusive? And very often you had to think outside the box. And therefore you had to innovate. People love innovation. And that means also made thought work more attractive for people who want to join thought work, because we want to get involved with innovation.
So dual role, both internally supporting your people to do better, to flourish at work, lean into their careers, but equally that external front-facing, supporting and pushing clients. And you told me a story recently about a contract that ThoughtWorks is working with. I mean, we might talk about it later, but give us a little sense of that
2
now.
weeks ago, we announced it that we got a contract with British Airways Holiday, and that is to make their customer journey more a better experience using tech. What was so important to me, though, in that announcement, they mentioned accessibility. I would not involve this project. I would not involve in this announcement. I finally got accessibility embedded in ThoughtWork.
I hear you. As ever, you will take...
It took me 4.5 years to get there, but I got it.
It's wonderful. And I know you never take credit for these things, Matthew, but nonetheless, I would put money on the fact that your work has supported the ability for the company to win business through its great values. And
And going back to what about the Valuable 500?
Yeah.
What about the Disability Forum? What a purpose space? I got ThoughtWorks to become member of all of those three because they are well-known brand in the disability world. So I want to tell everybody we're taking it seriously. This is not gimmick, PR stuff. This is what we want to do.
Wonderful. Matthew, I wonder if we could go back further. This video and film series that we do, Confident Conversations, it's all about helping, I suppose, great individuals like yourself share their story of disability or deafness or difference, and to encourage others to build their inner confidence. That's what we're doing through the series. So I wonder if we could go back to when you were a child. I want to hear a little bit more about Matthew the child who was deaf, and the types of experiences you had at school, and the things that either supported you to build inner confidence or to make you retract. What were the standout stories for you along the way?
So I went to 3 different types of education. And the first one was what we call a partial hearing unit, which is just one class for deaf children, but in a hearing school, so that we were able to integrate with them during the activity, during the break, and so on. Really important. I was only there for about 3 years. And they decided to put me in this school because they thought it would be better. Because my parents were very keen for me to speak well. But now it's a bit different. They encourage sign language and speak. There's a model that worked really well. And it's really important you communicate with the child as soon as possible. So you can imagine a frustrated, short-tempered boy I was all the time shouting because they couldn't understand me.
Yeah.
But there for 6 years, it was so hard. I had speech lessons in the lunch break, and I had extra homework once a week. But most of the time, I only able to follow about 30% of the lesson. Imagine that for 6 years.
Ouch.
Except for math, because you were on the board, visual. Now, I'm good at math. So, yeah. And then from the age of 13 to 19, I went to a boarding school for deaf children.
A boarding school?
Yeah.
For deaf children?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were like brother and sister. I'm still a good friend with many of them. But the key takeaway was I felt normal.
Yeah.
I didn't feel different. And I've always taken that with me. That's what it's about. Anywhere, work, anywhere, home, you don't feel different.
That's really interesting. I mean, one of the things that we see at Purple Space is how the employee resource groups and networks that we work with do so much to support people to have that sense of camaraderie. So you were getting that as a child in that third school.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I thrive
Yeah.
academically. I blossom, and I did very well. I became captain for a sport team. Somehow became a head boy. That's all. Maybe because I was so naughty at the beginning that I learned the lesson. That when I became a bit older, oh yeah, I've done that before. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then, so I blossomed.
Yeah. Good memories then.
Yes, and it gave me that confidence
Yeah.
to work in the big world, the corporate world. I didn't really want to work for a charity. I wanted to work for, the corporate world and show them that deaf people can thrive in that environment. It was tough.
So were you optimistic? When you left schooling, when you left education, then were you always optimistic?
Yes.
About getting a
Yes.
job?
I always try and look at a bit like you, Katie. I mean, well, you're not. I mean, you are so positive with that Positively Purple book. I love that book. It's always about positive. That's what it's about. Of course, there are a lot of things that can go wrong, but if you could focus on the good thing, your strength, it could go a long way.
So tell me more. Let's lead to the next question, which is about what inner confidence means to you and what it means to millions and millions of individuals who experience disability, deafness, neurodivergence. Why do you think the development of inner confidence is so important?
Indeed, Katie. You need to focus on your strength. And for me, very often we can't go through the conventional way. Non-deaf, non-hearing people, disability people go through. So we have to think of a different way. And I think that's our strength because we are very good at problem solving. And that, for me, is a big one. And that saved some of my jobs, my career, because I had that ability to able to see where can we go through a different route. It's not just there's anybody who had a disability. We have that ability, like a sixth sense.
Yep. You have always been very can-do in your approach.
Yes.
Have there ever been moments in your career where you've had to lean into a really uncomfortable conversation or a challenging moment? And, you know, what did you learn about yourself or other people as a
Yeah.
consequence?
So when I was working for ThoughtWork, there was a meeting with the client, and I've been shut down by one of my colleagues every time I opened my mouth. I was shocked, and suddenly there's a fine line of being confident, and all of a sudden I was below that line. I didn't feel confident, and I thought, golly, can I do this job? I really did. So I spoke to this person. I said, I've noticed that you seem to shut down every time I open my mouth. Yes. Oh, wow. Okay, why is that? Because Matthew, you were always behind. We moved on. But that's probably because my caption, um, they're always a few seconds behind. So that's why I'm always behind. Or the legacy was working. There was no caption. Oh, I didn't know that, Matthew. I had no idea. I thought it was real time. Okay, there's a bit of communication. Okay, how do we solve it? So I decided right at the beginning, in every meeting with new people who involved, say, by the way, I'm there, be upfront. I have a caption provided me. Sometimes I'm behind because there's a delay, the negatives. So please bear that with me. If we decide to change a new topic, can you give me a few seconds, just in case I want to say something, and it worked.
How did that person react? And
Well, you felt terrible, obviously.
yeah,
I mean, it was not a nice thing to do, because he really knocked my confidence back, and it took me a long time to get back
yeah.
to that. Be very dreadful, remorse, and then he realised that, you know, he could have told me after meeting rather than shutting me down.
And what did you do different as a consequence? Did you then just feel more able to be upfront with
Be
it?
more upfront,
Yeah,
and I will have a fact sheet, and I will give the fact sheet how I communicate.
yeah.
Everybody's slightly different, and I took that with me. So that was something, a key takeaway.
Love it.
Yeah, and even now.
Yeah. Tell me more about how those moments where we lean in, you know, we lean into those really difficult moments. How does that fit with your role of driving systemic change within ThoughtWorks and indeed globally through your role? What's the fit between the micro stories and moments and the macro?
Thought would let me allow be myself. That's what's so good about thought work. Whether you're deaf or not,
Yeah,
everyone want to help each other. That's the difference. I think that's the key. That's why I love working for ThoughtWork. It's nothing like any other company. I had to work very hard to prove myself in other companies, but ThoughtWork, I didn't have to do that.
it's very lovely to hear.
Yeah, and they allow me to be myself. I think that's different.
Have there ever been moments, I'm looking at the entirety of your career, Matthew, have there been ever moments where you truly doubted yourself because of your experience of deafness? I mean, you shared that story, but in terms of promotions or your direction, have there been moments where you felt out of depth?
Oh, absolutely. And there were moments I was frustrated that I was not promoted because I was told off many years later, Matthew, you know what, Matthew, I wasn't sure you were ready. I wanted to make sure you're ready before I give you that promotion. But when I hired a big team, I thought, my goodness, you were, better than them. but yeah, maybe I should have, because I said to him, I'm ready. Well, I'm not sure. I wanted to give another year or two to be sure that you are capable of doing that.
As you look back, does that make sense now?
No,
No, you were ready.
I was ready. I really was ready.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And frustrated, but I still think it would have happened again, because, like I say, now we can become more upfront. That's what it's about. If the person, your boss say, I don't think you're ready, Matthew. Okay, what are they? What are your concerns? And let's see how we can address them. Well, that's how we.
I get you. You're very forgiving in your approach, but
Yes,
not
I
in a
am.
way that's overly soft. You know, you find that balance
Yes.
between forgiving people's transgressions in not getting you or not believing or trusting you, at the same time as not allowing that to erode your own confidence. Where does that come from? Is that your family or you or?
I don't know. Nobody's perfect. I think generally, most of us are really good people. Of course, there are one or two bad apples. I'm sure they're good apple, and they do really good attend, or they should need to be educated. And now it's much more open. We had the Paralympic Olympic in 2012. The society has become much more open, more accepting. I've noticed that. So definitely a much better world. We have all the tech available that give us more independence, better, more opportunity, and so on. It will continue to get better.
I love to hear you talk like that. We live in a very shouty world, you know, where we hear constantly, you know, the bad news stories, but you always remain very optimistic,
Yes.
stubbornly, beautifully optimistic.
Yeah. Well, like you, Casey.
Well, perhaps we're twins.
We want to focus on the good thing. How can we do better? Why we're just as good as anybody.
I want to move on to AI and tech. Okay,
Yes.
a subject that you know rather well.
Yes.
So I wonder if you'd share with me, I suppose, your thoughts about how the lived experiences of disabled people have helped improve tech and AI, and I suppose your hopes and expectations for the future.
Well, first of all, personally, absolutely with the caption. The AI, automatic caption now is so good. And I use it all the time. And 5 years ago, for the first time in my life, I was able to use the phone like everybody else.
You made a video of that.
Well, Google did.
Yeah.
Because I was so happy with Google. They made that phone.
Yep.
It translate your speech to caption tech real time. And it was so good. And during the COVID, my son was in Hong Kong. I called him and we spoke for half an hour. Wonderful. And now I use the phone every day. And I was so happy. I wrote a blog. I published it on LinkedIn. And Google contacted me and say, Matthew, we love your story. Can we make a little video of it? So we did. It's still out there. It's about 2 minutes of it. Yeah, so that was a game changer. And that's definitely a game changer. And there are a lot of other stuff. Real-time cameras, identify objects in real time. Wonderful for people with disability. Voice recognition, able to translate text into the speech and so on. I mean, there's so many other stuff. Also, if you have a prosthetic limb, I remember a person, she lost her arm in a terrible accident, and she was given the prosthetic, was AI enabled, and everybody had different muscle and nerve. So the AI started to focus on the person, and within a few weeks, she was able to control the arm. It immediately had a hand that could rotate 360 degrees. But that's what AI does. Another beautiful is the website. The websites have the same content, but it could be reformatted to a little bit. You might be colorblind, you might be dyslexic with a different font. Well, with AI, I know this person. I know how you like to read it. Same format.
So tailor-made.
Tailor-made for that particular person. That will happen. It coming out very soon. So that's just one example. I tell you, I hope it's tailor-made for that person. Whatever these disabilities is.
What's your prediction that in that? How will that support people to build their inner confidence? What's the relationship?
In the future, we'll have our own virtual assistant.
Assistant.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have a genetic AI. So that person would say, I want to do a conference, but I have severe anxiety. Where can I find it? And you have the virtual assistant to help you with your roommates, how to get there, where the toilets are, where the food is, or whatever you need to find. That will happen. And it's very exciting. Of course, AI is dangerous, scary. If you get it right, make sure that the data is inclusive and that all real people with disability, not, we're a blindfolded person and I'm David. No, new real people. Then you can mitigate those issues. You have a strong framework. But for me, AI will make their life much more independent and more opportunities.
Yeah.
To different jobs. When I worked for IBM, I was looking for a job that did not involve using the telephone.
Got you, yeah.
If I rewind back, no, I was able to find any job that used the telephone because I can use the phone.
I get you. A different world and a level playing field. I mean,
Yes.
it will still it will still be a little unequal, but it's much more equal than it was.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Oh, yes.
As you look back over your career, and I know you've been doing that, we'll share more in a moment, but what would you share with your younger self? What would you say to your younger self as you set out on your career about things to do differently, things to do the same? Any advice that you would give that young Matthew at 20, starting out?
I would focus on your strength.
Yeah.
Be positive. Don't analyze too much. If you do, you will never do it. Focus on the thing. You can do it. Just focus on your strength. That would be the main message I would send to everybody. Really want to do that job, make sure that you have the tools to use it. Because really, the tools are out there now. If you're not quite there, then we can get someone to help you develop that tool.
Is there anything you would warn young Matthew against or discourage him from doing?
I'm not that type of person. I just do it. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing because I made a couple of mistakes which I didn't do due diligence. I should run through it.
Yeah.
Like leaving Morgan Stanley to a startup company and become a multimillionaire and I can retire early. That didn't work. So there are times that you sit back a bit, okay, can I really do that job? But it'd been going back, I would love to be able to work abroad. I didn't have that confidence. Now I would love to work abroad for a couple of years, maybe New York or Hong Kong, something like that. That sort of experience.
Yeah. But apart from that, yeah, you've lived with verve and colour. Matthew, you've shared with me that in 2020 you were diagnosed with prostate cancer, which is now palliative.
Yeah.
And in those early days, weeks, months, you chose not to share that information too widely, whereas now, of course, you do. Tell us a little bit about the journey that you've been on the last few years.
So when I was first diagnosed, I had metastatic stage 4 prostate cancer, which means not treatable. So I had a few years to live. But I was still fine. Just started to do a few treatment, hormone treatment. I went on a trial for a year. I did radiation. I did not show anybody because everybody got problem. Everybody have their issue. You didn't have to be a disability. You didn't have to be a illness. It could be something that you're a carer looking after your elderly parent, or your child is disabled. But everybody has issue. Or you had a very unhappy childhood, whatever reason. You were abused, or you were raped. Everybody had it. So I feel it necessary to get with it with your life and see if you can help make the world a better place with your illness. Yeah. And then, of course, that went on for 4 years. And I did a chemo early this year, and it didn't work. So the tube put all on my back. And now I'm palliative, which means I have, let's see, and I've taken long-term leave from work because I want to focus on the thing that I really want to do. Carry on working, make the world a better place. For example, I'm on the 5 people for Fulham Football Club. How could we make the football club more inclusive, which I think is wonderful. That's my passion. And of course, as a trustee for Scope, I love being a trustee for Scope. Of course, it's hard work. We have to make a lot of difficult decisions to make. But I love that. And I'm still doing it, although I reached to the end of my term with there for 6 years. So that's it by the end of October. I'm out. But I'm still doing it. I still attend the meeting and so on. Yeah. But people have to treat me differently. That was another reason I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't want people to treat me differently. And I told many people, of course my family knows, and all my close friends know, but I didn't tell you, okay, to tell anyone. But I just had a Scope board meeting. I told lots of people in the city world. People feeling very, very sympathetic, but they've tried to leave me alone. They won't bother Matthew anymore. Matthew maybe wants to spend time with his family. No.
You want to be bothered.
Yeah, because that made me get out of my bed. I feel I have so much to offer, right, in tech, AI. You know, I've been around for long, I have a lived experience. So go forward, other people, when people have disability, don't cut them off. Carry on, make them feel inclusive.
Well, I know from Mark Hodgkinson and your fellow trustees at Scope how much you are valued, Matthew, in terms of your lived experience, your total focus on customers. Yeah. And the fact that you are always, I suppose, the advocate for those individuals who rely so much on Scope's support. So, yeah, I know you will continue to press for the systemic changes that are needed.
Absolutely, yeah.
So thinking about your onward journey and thinking about, your legacy, what for you would be the most, I suppose, important thing that you have done? You shared with me how you've suggested to your boys that they must always do something that builds a better, inclusive world. But so what's your legacy? What will you have left?
For everybody to do something to society, to make more inclusive. It doesn't have to be a long term, it doesn't have to be your whole career, but you choose to do something to contribute. Whatever you've got is really important, because the world is getting more inclusive. It takes time, it's a long time. Of course, I wish it was bullshit, but for me, I spoke to my boys, please make sure you do something worthwhile to the community. And that's really important. Going forward, I wish I could say I'd be around a bit longer, because I'm so psyched about AI. Of course, like I say, AI is scary, but for people with disability, it can be very exciting, really. It can make the world even more inclusive for people with disability. And I would have there a bit longer to see that, but I won't. Go back to Kate, is that cancer is not a nice disease. I suffered the last few months. I've lost 10 kilos. I have multiple issues. At the same time, it's allowed me to give the opportunities to meet all the people and tell them the wonderful memories we've had, and tell them that I love them so much. Really important. Don't wait. If you feel you want to do it, go for it. Live today and not tomorrow. You don't know what's around the corner. And there are lots of things that I regret. Say, I'll wait till the children have grown up. No, do it.
What are the things then that you're doing now?
Well, for example, I mean, you might find it weird, but I went to the safari in Kent, and my sister and I and my brother-in-law, we spent an hour and a half with the gorillas. I love them. I think they're beautiful. So we were able to feed them, really almost touch their hand, see their hand and see their beautiful eyes. Also, there were 6 teenagers giveback, so they were able to be together. Each of them had their own different characters, and one of them said, and you were thrown through. You're only interested like carrot, lemon, and potato. It's hilarious. And the other in the back, it's right. It was just wonderful. All the characters, but the best of all was the rhinos. They were like dogs, pet. They wanted to be stroked all day long. Stroked them on their face and the whole of their body. I mean, it was just wonderful for their, and especially their their horn. I mean, it was just incredible. And that is a very special moment. That thing you don't need to do. to do those things, something different. Don't wait. Find the time to do that. That's one example. Didn't have to be work, but it's about enjoying the experience and do it today and not tomorrow.
It's so lovely that you're finding the time in the knowledge
Yes.
that it is finite. We all live in that way, but it's
Yeah.
hard to constantly live in that knowledge.
Yes.
But you're doing that now
Yes.
with aplomb.
I mean, I've done some experience, but I wish I did it more. Turn the clock about. That's what I should have done. Like I went to Canterbury with my sister and my mother. We spent a few days together, and that was just lovely.
Yeah.
And it's funny that the last time I went to Canterbury Cathedral was I was 7 months old. It's almost going
Full
to a full circle. And my mother said that she left me in a pram at the entrance of the cathedral and left me there to walk around the cathedral. I mean, choose. You wouldn't do that now, do you?
I was going to say, did she leave you in a pram this time round?
Wow.
Yeah. Ah, wonderful message. Yeah, to live and to live fully and in the moment.
Yes. And
Beautiful.
don't use disability as an gift. No. I will not accept that. Use the strength that you have. Don't look at the negative side. Really important.
It's wonderful. It's how I always think of you. And I imagine you've had a lot of love heaped on you too.
Oh, lot, yeah. I'm very grateful, very, very grateful. Yeah. I cry all the time, every day. But yeah. How you say to me, my son, you know what, Dad? Because I love coffee. I'm a coffee snob. Really important to have a good coffee. As you know, I asked for an expert, and it wasn't like coffee. And Harry said, every time I have a coffee, I always think of you, which is wonderful.
Matthew, you are a dream, an absolute dream. I've had the great pleasure of journeying with you for many years. You must have no doubts about the endurance of your legacy, not just within the Purple Space community, but across scope, the work you have done at Valuable 500. But the show is not over, and I feel copious amounts of coffee will be drunk between us. But thank you for today. Thank you for your interview and your incredible love and optimism.
Yeah. Well, I get that from you, Kate. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts. I'm really very excited. I really am. I like to think that the employment for people with disability, the gap between people with disability and those who are not have disability, the gap made 30%. I really would like to see that tricky. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I hope you have enjoyed this film with a remarkable man. To hear more in the series, go to purplespace.org to find the Confident Conversation films and look out for us on social media.